Well, hello, good evening. We are live again with the Cosmos Astrum with Danika Wright. Make sure I hit the right button this time.
Hi.
So, um, I'm just checking. We have 5 people on right now, so I'm going to scoot in a little bit. So, well, this is episode 6. So you're lucky number 6. I know everybody says lucky number 7. Yeah,
Nah.
yeah. Whatever number is lucky for you, that's great. Um, Hello, Lee, and um, so it's we're just gonna start off because this whole subject matter is going to be a learning experience for me, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this. So, but first off, tell us about your long walks on the beach, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Danika Wright, and I actually am a farmer, a large grain farmer here in Saskatchewan. Me and my family and his husband. And as well, I am a costume designer recently on a movie, and my background is fashion design.
Nice.
um, but I started becoming interested in Kundalini about 5 years ago. And so Kundalini is actually my passion project. It's not my career.
Mm.
It is my hobby. It's what I do for fun. I enjoy learning about it. And
Well, the passion of it is alone, it's kind of like, just for example, I enjoy making candles. Yes, I enjoy selling candles, but
yeah,
it's a passion. And
yeah,
you're putting that energy into it because it is a passion.
that's right.
So that's granted, costume design. I got a few ideas I already want to talk to you about because Halloween is coming up, my favorite time of the year.
It's my favorite time of the year too.
So who else we got on here? Yeah, hey, Nathan.
That's my husband,
Oh,
Nathan.
hey. He deserves an applause
Yeah.
too. Okay, there we go. Um, so yes, I've got notes. Don't judge. Um, so when did you discover about Kundalini yoga? Did it fit you as an individual?
So about 5 years ago, it all started with a mental breakdown, actually. So, I was at a place in my life where I just wasn't feeling. I had 2 young children, really young, and I felt like I'd given so much. Like, yeah, I worked in film for
Mhm.
most of my life, and the government here cut our tax credit, and so I entered a really big state of depression. Like,
Mhm.
who am I? What do I do? And I started taking medication on a like to for depression and anxiety, and I ended up having a totally mental collapse and being hospitalized. So from that, the doctor said you'll probably be on antidepressants your entire life and anti-anxiety medication. This will be a part of your life and who you are. And I wasn't really willing to take that. I didn't feel right about it.
Mhm.
I was just like, you know what? This is not who I am. I'm much more than that. My mother-in-law bought me this book called The Mind of Your Own by Dr. Kelly Brogan.
Mhm.
And she is a psychiatrist who laid out how to live medication free and to get off medication. And so she recommended doing Kundalini yoga twice per week,
Oh,
along
nice.
with changing your diet and your lifestyle, right? And the first time I did it, I was like, whoa, what is this? It's
Mhm.
different. This is different. This isn't regular yoga. It's like a head rush. And I was like, wow, this is something else. This
Mhm.
is something really cool. And then it became something that I wanted to do more and learn more. And being on a farm
Mhm.
and being in Saskatchewan, I discovered there wasn't a big community.
Mhm.
And so I just started to pursue maybe learning to teach just because I wanted to meet more people that had a similar interests.
Mhm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's how I came across it. And subsequently, I was able to get off medication and
Nice.
I was able to start living, I think,
Hmm.
in my true, authentic self and being happy and content. So
Yeah, I've been caught in the trappings of society, and because I've been a practitioner since I was very young, and I got caught in the trappings of you got to work, and then you got your mental state, and you got the social acceptance, and all these different things. You need to start losing yourself,
you
and
did.
when you start recapping into who you are, you discover you actually have the opportunity to become a better person.
Oh,
And can you look back at that period of time and it's like that wasn't me.
that wasn't
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
It was something else, and I think the medication really was holding me back. Now that I look at it, you
Mhm.
know.
You kind of answered my next question. Thank you. Uh, so you went for the instructor aspect. So when did you start instructing?
So I actually just recently got my became an accredited Kundalini yoga teacher
Hmm.
in March, and it's COVID,
Hmm.
so I've just been teaching online on Sundays, and whenever people request, I've done some private lessons and whatever.
Um, with that being said, being certified, what was your certification process, if you don't mind me asking?
So in October to March, I took online. It was the
Hmm.
first time it was available online because of COVID,
Hmm.
with a teacher that I recognized as being, he's been doing it forever since the 60s, Guru Singh.
Hmm.
And so it was something that I was like, okay, I'm going to do this now. I wanted to originally go away and do it, but it was like something that I needed so badly in my life. And I think because of COVID,
Hmm.
it was just like, I want to do this now. I'm at home. This is the time for me. So I did it online. So yeah.
Well, I mean, and I'm assuming it was done via video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's the modules and modules, and then you every week meet
Oh, okay.
when you have small groups or whatever, right?
The reason I'm bringing it up is because not in the Kundalini. Wow, I just said this before we came on. I got to get the marbles out of my mouth. What? Um. So there's other practices that are just strictly modules,
Yes.
and that's why I'm asking is because all of a sudden, because of COVID, there's a lot of instructors popping up,
Yes.
and excuse me, marbles, phlegm, I don't know, that are using these certifications, and so I'm glad to hear that it's you have your regular meeting via video,
Video.
and
Yeah.
that's really important.
It was mandatory, actually.
Oh,
You
sweet.
have to. You
Yeah.
have to attend both.
Well, yeah, but in all fairness, there are actually some modules floating out there just strictly, just fill in the
That's
blanks,
right.
and now all of a sudden you're certified this, and
No, and this is so that's why I was kind of waiting, like, and I wanted to do it where I knew it was legit. And so I
Mhm,
found the teacher. It was his first time, its flagship course called Kundalini University. And
mhm,
I was like, this is Guru Singh. He has books. This is the guy. And I want to
mhm.
do it. So I'm going to do it. And I jumped in.
Yeah, that was the biggest reason I wanted to ask that, because right now, because people are becoming more aware of these module certified people that have never even practiced or done anything
Yeah.
or been exposed to it. And so I'm trying to, in other words, I'm saying real deal. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So, which we just kind of went into my next little question. Because right now it's a huge, unfortunately, a lot of people fell for it long before it was, um, well, it was too late, and people were started going on these different sites and, saying, well, okay, now I'm not bashing because I do have some very dear friends in Reiki. I'm just saying that,
Oh, right.
yeah, but all of a sudden, these Reiki masters started popping up all over the place, and they took a 3-hour course.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Mine
or
was 5 months. And it was also, it's under the Yoga Alliance.
hmm.
And so you have to have a certain certificate to get that. And that's like the real deal. You have
So,
to have it.
and that's what I'm trying to say here
Yeah.
is real deal,
Yeah.
not a little piece of paper going,
No.
oh my gosh.
So there is other levels. So this is
Mm-hmm.
just my first level, and I'm a master of none. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a student of all. Is like what I like to say. So I'm learning still. It's just something that is like a burning passion that I had to start. I didn't even know if I was going to teach. I just knew that I wanted to be involved and I wanted to learn it all. And so it was more about the knowledge. And now I feel like I have to.
Yeah. Well, it's like, drinking a good wine,
Yeah.
you turn around, you like it, you want a little bit more,
Yeah.
and it does kind of make you a little drunk. So real quick, we're going to take a quick commercial break for the Broom Closet and Jessup's General Store. They're here in Regina. Love them to death, their family. So let's real quick listen from them.
Welcome to Jessup's General Store and the Broom Closet Witchcraft Supply Shop. I'm Carly Jessup, owner of Jessup's General Store, and not seen on camera is Donna Kruger, who's the owner of the Broom Closet Witchcraft Supply Shop. We are located in Regina, Saskatchewan in the Heritage neighborhood, and in our shop you can find all sorts of cool things from occult-inspired clothing, art and accessories, to witchcraft supplies like herbs, incense, candles, and other sorts of divination tools. Hopefully you can come and check it out sometime.
I love them. Anyway, so let's get back to Kundalini yoga. What the hell? I'm glad I'm not doing my radio show right now. I mean, at least I got facial expressions of showing disappointment myself. So give me a brief history of Kundalini yoga.
Well, there's many different forms of yoga, as we know, and usually it's from South Asia, right? And so from the beginning of time, there was records of yogis. It's a major thing they had there because they had warm weather. They were able to do other things. It started as like mimicking animals and, the postures often. So when there's really a record of Kundalini yoga is when Yogi Bhajan brought it in the 60s, 1968 to North America. Before, in the 11th and 12th century, there was the mention of the kundul, the energy, right, at the base of your spine, as well as it's said that it's more from the northern part of India and Pakistan that Kundalini yoga originates. So lots of people in theory say it's the yoga of the householder. So other traditions, you'd renounce your worldly goods of yoga and you go live in the mountains of India. Whereas Kundalini yoga was said to be more for just the householder, right?
Oh,
you could practice every day. You don't have to renounce anything. So as well, Guru Nanak from the Sikh tradition, he's the first guru. The mantra we use is his words and vowels and syllables.
Okay.
So they're different like sound technologies. So that's from that area too of the Punjab of India.
Nice.
So
and I want to exaggerate a little bit on the sounds and tones for those watching. Things like from ceremonial practice with vibrating words or all these even with the, say for example, with the Tibetan, with the vibrating certain vowels to attain the meditative state, or I mean I do it here. Every path has one aspect of reaching a vibratory tone. I am going to shut up soon. But to achieve that harmonic state.
yes.
And so what I love that bridge the gap. You know what? Cut. We're stopping. No. With the different paths, different cultures, different societies that have incorporated that, whether their terminology may change.
Yeah.
But with the mantras, the chants, or the different groups, these are all mantras.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah. So, and not to make anybody mad, but like say like certain hymns in the church, there are definitely mantras.
Yeah, so for sure. I get
So
that.
I mean, I'm not trying to make anybody upset. I'm just like stating a fact, and so it's I'm just trying to bridge that gap of that understanding of what mantras and vibratory tones, to reach that harmonic balancing.
Right.
So if somebody's watching, so that maybe with my jumbled up words, you can
I'll
get
speak a little bit about it.
it.
So for me, like, it's not so much about the meaning of the words, it's the sounds, because often you don't know about it. Like a gong bath creates healing vibrations. The most powerful healing is the sound of your own voice, right? And so it's so freeing. Like, I think this is probably the reason why this path of yoga isn't often in the mainstream yoga studios, is because people are afraid. They're afraid of the mantra. They're like, well, am I trying to worship something here? Or, like, they don't understand. And I just take it as the sound vibrations, like you're saying. It's not the meaning, it's not where they came from, it's the tone, it's the sound of your voice doing the healing. Just like when you sing a song in the shower, you come out feeling fabulous from that shower, right? So that's how I see it.
Well, it's and to kind of go back to that, when I teach, I'm going to maybe I should be chanting right now because I need to calm down from my own voice. Yours healing, mine's damaging. But no, when I was teaching martial arts at one time, and I had a stage in there where it was meditation.
Right.
I had to get the students to sign. Now this is in the South, deep South. I had to get the students to sign a waiver because meditation had an air about it that was considered evil. So yeah, so I actually had to get them to sign a waiver because a couple other schools were sued. It's the states; that's what they do. But were sued because they were going against their religious beliefs, and no matter how you try to word it, your prayer, whatever, you were still the bad person. And so yeah, people get wrapped up in the mantras and the chanting and all these different things. So I think we had this discussion off air. People get wrapped up in terminologies.
Yeah. Is the thing.
And you say the wrong word. Lisa from Ontario. Yeah, these type of things, one small word can be not only a healing opportunity, but can be a damaging aspect. And yeah, it's really more of a communication, just explaining what it is. Like you said, it's just tones. It's not
Just
necessarily the
tones.
words. It's it's like the words that I use at night. I focus on two tones, E and A. So it's not necessarily the words, it's the tones that I'm using. So that's huge key point. So we had this discussion off air, and I'm asking you this because I want to clarify for people watching or will be watching. And so I did the proverbial Google search, Kundalini, and the first thing came up was divine feminine energy. Now, as a practitioner, I understand I have to have that balance between my masculine and my feminine. I have to accept both because they're one and the whole. And
that's the same. And that's the same in Kundalini yoga.
Yeah.
It's the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And I was saying often in different poses, even in mudra, different hand positions, you could put the one thumb over and it's for engaging your feminine.
It's contagious.
And the other one, and it's for your masculine. It's the equal, the opposites, the polarities, and bringing them together. But like you said, with your search of the Kundalini energy, that's kind of related to the tantric tradition, which is similar. It's the same kind of thing. They're talking about the woman unfolding and opening up your spine. So.
Okay. Because I wanted to, so with that being said, this is not a female exclusive class.
No. I have men that do it, and as well in my teacher training, there was men, and honestly, like in traditional yoga, there was usually more men. But now it seems like the female is rising a little bit in the healing arts often, right? Because there was repression. We know
Right.
that. We both know that. People are starting to become more comfortable in the healing arts as women
Yes.
as well. And so it seems that there's more women that are drawn to yoga in general. But my husband, he practices yoga, and lots of people, I have 3 guys in my class that come. And so, yeah, in my class in the university, though, it was 10 to 1, women to men.
Oh. So Chuck, if you're watching, it would help if I, hey Fallon, Chuck, if you're watching or future watching, we got a class for you. So, now you just mentioned it a minute ago about the energy,
The Kundalini energy.
right?
We should talk about that a bit.
Yeah, because I want to understand more, because different paths have different concepts of the energy flow of the body.
Right.
And so I'm not familiar, so you're gonna have to speak to me like I'm a child,
Okay.
more so than usual. So give me a brief rundown of the energy flow of the I understand from the spine, from the base of the spine, but I want to understand the whole process.
Okay, so I'll first tell you, and naturally our body flows down in our body, right? Any food you bring in, it's gravity, everything flows down. The whole concept is redirecting the energy and moving it up our spine, our gratitude line, through our chakras to the crown, and trickling down. So it's kind of like a micro orbit through our spine. So the Kundalini energy is said to be between your belly button and the base of your tailbone. And it's like a coil of hair that starts to rise through different activities. So in the practice of Kundalini yoga, we don't do the same thing as in normal yoga where you're sitting and you're doing a position, you're kind of holding it. Sometimes you do, but normally you're creating friction and tension and pressure by doing a position and moving over and over again in that position. So lots of times you'll see holding a pose. In this one, we're doing something that's creating friction and starting to generate the energy. And then what happens is at the end of most exercises, we engage our mula band, which is at the base of your spine. It's like your rectum and your sex organs. And you kind of do a Kegel and you hold and you're squeezing your body up like a tube of toothpaste.
Okay.
And you're directing the energy up by suspending your breath. And usually you're focusing on your third eye chakra or your crown. As well as there's different breath works that we do to really stimulate it and get it going. The most common one for Kundalini yoga is the breath of fire, which is a different form of breathing. It's in and out through your nose at a rapid pace while pumping your diaphragm. So again, it's about your organs starting to generate the energy and making it flow, where it can be stagnant. Like it's like crystals that kind of get little hard knots, and it breaks it up and you're able to start moving it up.
I'm starting to think I need to be in this class. Yeah, because the more you're describing it, I'm like, God, I need this. Yeah, and Chuck says, yes, please. Okay, so real quick, before we get into this, because I've got so many questions. And I have to stop and think because I've been jumbling up my words like an idiot here. So we're going to go to Lalek and Owens. I'm from the South, so I can mispronounce his name, but he's an amazing individual out of Thunder Bay. Love him to death. Amazing products. Let's hear from him.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean and I'm the owner of Lalo Gonzalwin. I make natural handcrafted intention-based products like beeswax spell candles, scented spell candles, loose incense, stick incense, liquid incense, anointing oils, and bath salts. So you can check out all of my products on my website at www.lailokensAwen.com.
No, we weren't making fun of Jared or anybody like that. We would never do something like that. Because I know he's eventually going to be popping on here. Hold on, we got some questions popping in here. Great explanation of the energy from Lisa. Let's.
Oh, we were gonna ask those. We were gonna answer those questions.
Yeah. Okay. So Stephanie, are there variations on positions on and how does it affect the energy flow? We're actually getting into that right now. So your timing is impeccable, Stephanie. That's our next topic. So Jared popped in. He was watching. I knew he was. So let's go to our topics real quick, and if you have further questions or want us to exaggerate on, I'll throw those in. But these topics are actually specifically targeted around the poses because I am really curious because I have limitations of what I can do. So, so the benefits of the poses. If you were to, I mean, we went through the energy flow, but and I understand the benefits of energy on the body, but with the different poses, can you kind of give us an example of one or two of the poses?
Well, the different poses, like different from the other forms of yoga you're
Right.
talking about? Okay. So there's lots of things about the energy, right? So there's even things where you're just holding your arms up, thumbs towards, and you're doing different breath work and focusing and moving the energy that way. But in regards to your limitations, we always adapt for everybody. There's people who do it in wheelchairs. If you take my class, some people will say, I have knee problems. And so I'll know, okay, I can't do this. I'm going to give my adaptations. Even on my videos, I just say, no, this is the way to adapt. And it's not really about forcing yourself to do anything. If you can't do it, you know your limitations and you take a break, you join later, or you just, meditate. It's not about proving anything. It's about improving.
Okay. So are there any, like if somebody wants to take one of your classes and they would turn around and say, I can't, or like me, I can't get on the floor I can't get back up without help. Are there any actual physical restrictions? Well, we'll leave it mental, physical as well, that would keep somebody from doing this.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I said, you can do it from the waist up. If you can't go on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
you can do it in your chair. You can do it proprioceptically, which is in your mind's eye.
Mm-hmm.
You can imagine yourself doing that position. If you're unable to do it, maybe just follow along with the breath work or just lean forward instead of being on your mat or whatever. There's always, like I said, there's lots of different things. But, it's designed to trigger and provoke, really, and move your glands and organs. So, you're holding your position, your arms up for a long time. You're doing the breath work. You're like, oh, this sucks. But sometimes breaking through that is like breaking through something in your life. So it's like, okay, it sucks, but I know I'm not going to injure myself doing this. So I'm just going to try to break through it so that you're able to kind of experience the peace afterwards in your life. Because you're like, wow, I did that. I feel so good. I done, And it's like, okay, I go off the mat and I feel so good too.
So, and you kind of covered my next topic, which is, an example descriptive of the pose and how it associates with the energy flow. But I'm going to substitute real quick because I heard this story recently and I'm throwing you a curveball because she got the same list. She rehearsed. No, just kidding. Recently, I heard a story about people having to remove a head wrap or even a hairband or something because it was inhibiting their crown chakra. Or you can't. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not making this up. And yes, I am. We have the same opinion right now, but I'm just wondering, from your perspective, you can't wear this necklace because it's blocking your heart chakra. You got to take this off because it's blocking this. That's personally that's a
think
lot of crap. But
I think I feel the same way, and I think
Okay.
it's just all to your perception.
Mhm.
Like, you know, many Kundalini yoga teachers convert to Sikhi, which is where they wear a turban.
Mm.
So it helps to keep the energy and everything right. So I don't believe that for one bit,
Okay.
because we work with the chakra system. That's a big thing.
I know, and when I heard this, I won't say where the class was, and I'll leave all that out. And I know Jared knows I'm chomping at the bit to call him out, but no. Oh, hold on a second. Let me pull this up. We have a question here. What about the color white associated with Kundalini?
I'm glad she asked that.
Mhm.
I actually like talking about it. So me, my whole life as Danika, I've always worn black. It's been my color.
Mhm.
And so it's about the reason why we probably all love black is because it absorbs energy.
Mhm.
So I was terrified of white. I'm like, am I going to wear white? And my teacher said, try wearing white and see what happens. So it's about the energy coming into you and moving out of you.
Mm.
So instead of absorbing the energy, you're able to move the energy through your body. So you know, I'm kind of an independent. I'm not, my favorite color in real life is black. So I like to have a little bit of white, but I tried it
Mhm.
and I could feel a difference. So yes, I do embrace wearing white. In my whole life, I never wore white before.
And I would like to point out the person that just asked that question would actually have goth picnics, so she understands the black
Yeah.
and the white. So that was a really good question. Thank you,
I
Lisa.
like that question because it was something that really was like, whoa, all these people are wearing white. Am I going to have to wear white? But when he explained it and about the energy moving through your body, and then he's like, just try it. So my teacher said, so, you know, I started trying my practice with lighter colors, and it seems true. It's like the energy flow, and when you're meditating and all that stuff, it kind of just flows through you more like a micro orbit instead of absorbing it all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Could it be possibly? I'm huge on trigger items. Certain scents trigger certain emotions, certain things. All these are different energy.
Yeah.
Could it possibly be a trigger item for
Maybe. I'm not sure really. It's
Okay.
all new to me. White is new to me.
Okay.
I wasn't sure that I was going to adopt it, but I'm trying to honor the tradition a little bit by
Okay.
having a little bit of white in my life.
I guess a really big question I got for you, is there any age restrictions to this?
No, like I said, I have several seniors in my group, and lots of the teachers are seniors.
Okay, why did you look at me when you said seniors?
I know I'm not. I was
And
because I'm talking to you.
okay.
I'm having my teachers are seniors, and I'm a middle-aged woman, and I'm just learning now to be a teacher. So there is no age restrictions, and you can always adapt things for you. As well as children, there's some teachers that teach children. I only took one class on teaching children, but I try to engage my children sometimes.
Mhm.
Like last week's Sunday class, I have a small group last week, and so my daughter said, can I come help? So she helped me teach the class, and she's only 8. She did the full hour. She loved it. She said, can I teach all the classes with you? So, yeah.
So, because you were ancient. Thanks, Fallon. I appreciate that. If Jared was only here right now, I just never would hear it. The whole show would be over. He would just ride on the age jokes. So if somebody wanted to bring their kids in, whatnot, into a class.
Usually I'd probably have a specific class. Kids, it depends on the age, but kids usually wouldn't sit through an entire class. You'd want to do like a 20-minute class. As they get older to teenagers, they can do a full class, but their attention span it gets smaller as the age goes down.
Yeah, or in my case, as I get older. So what I want to try to steer away from is ending up turning into a babysitting, situation versus a class.
Right.
And so that's why I was kind of wondering about the age bracket, because we've been talking about we'll have the classes here.
Yeah.
And so if you was to actually put a cap off on an age bracket. Would you say like 16 and
I'd say for
older?
16 and over for a full length class,
Mhm.
maybe even 14 actually, because their attention span is probably good. But
You didn't know me when I was 14.
so, yeah.
Okay. So, and then we're gonna. Wow, it's only been 35 minutes.
Oh, that was really fast.
So, has anybody got any questions? Because we normally, I mean, I've got more stuff I can throw up on the screen, but has anybody got any questions for Danika? It's a little bit of a delay, so we have to. And I do like what that's your husband right there.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna pop it up there, Nathan. I'm calling you out. It's a great way to start your day or week. So. I guess that kind of, I'm going to, while I'm waiting for any questions that might possibly pop up, I do have a question for you. How, me, sad to say, it's got to be coffee or as soon as I wake up.
Me too. I'm the same.
But,
what kind of?
but if you want to kick off, your day on the energy level and whatnot, and you only have limited time, how would this fit into, say, like you've only got a 30-minute window before
you can do. There's different. I should talk about it a bit. There's different kriyas, which are sets of exercises for different things, and there's ways to do shortened ones where it's just like one position, and you can do it for different variety of lengths of time, really. So myself, because I've got a busy household, I used to get up and have my coffee the second I woke up, but now I get up, I brush my teeth, I go on the mat, and I wake up on the mat, and all of a sudden my hour is over. So, it's like I find that it sets up my day, and I'm able to cope with my life. It became a thing once I started doing it. I was like, oh, I'm like, my coping skills are way better. And then the days that I wouldn't do it, I'm like, oh, just life sucks. It becomes almost like something that you need, like air or water. And my husband will say the same thing. My husband actually goes to the city for hot yoga every day.
Okay.
So he likes my practice and he takes it, but we have different fields of thought a little bit in that way. He's probably going to say something about that.
Well, we've already got a few questions that have been popping in real quick, and I don't mean to cut you off, but they're actually more questions than I'm used to seeing. So, do a short demo, of the breathing.
So there's different breathing ways you can do. There's alternate nostril breathing, but the most common one is breath of fire, and that really gets your energy flow moving. And so it's in and out through your nose while pumping your diaphragm. So it's inhale, you push your stomach out, exhale, in. So we'll say this. See how my belly was moving there? So that really, and you do it for extended amounts of time, always with the position.
Nice. Okay, hold on. Let me go to the next question here. We have Lisa again. Do you have a favorite mudra you could share with us?
A mudra. So, favorites. I never even thought about that.
Put you on the spot.
So, there's all different mudras. Of course, it's a hand positioning, right? And each hand positioning is related to different things. The different fingers have different pressure points, and they relate to different planets. And so I don't really have a favorite mudra. I love using my hands when I do my mantra. There's different ways. I love, moving my hands and doing mudras at the heart center. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite.
You like them all. It's like me with pie. Okay, so we have, are the positions different from regular yoga?
There's some that are the same because
get you to scoot in just a little bit. There we go.
They're adapted all from the same place, right? But they're usually doing repetitive, and there's some that are unique to Kundalini yoga. And again, it's like you're doing something over and over again. It's not the same as holding. You still do downward dog. You still do sun salutations. There's still the basic foundation of Hatha yoga. It's just that there's some unique to Kundalini yoga and the way that it's done.
Okay. Okay. So we got next one is what are the most important chakras to work on in your opinion? Now, I'm just going to real quick point out, and just from my beliefs, and I'm not really 100% tied into the chakras, but to me, it has to be unison. Yeah, you can target specific ones.
Yeah, if you're having an issue with it, definitely. Like right now, I'm working on a journey through the chakras with an 8-week course. And, in order to move up, you usually have to start with a strong foundation. So, in my opinion, the root is the most important. That's your foundation. And then you can start moving up. You're not going to be okay anywhere if you're not stable and secure in your life.
Fair enough.
Right? And so it goes up because it's so, I'd say the root is where we start.
So, Nathan says, explain the chakra series.
And so I'm making little videos. They're not professional by any means. And my class that I do on Sundays, when they purchase the class, they're also getting the videos. However, since my series 8-week class is almost done, I still have those videos. If people are interested, I'd be happy to share one sample video if someone wants to give it a try, and then the other 7, if they are interested in purchasing, it would be a small cost because they're not professional by any means.
And Fallon says, in martial arts, we call it ibuki breathing. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a big tie-in. Like my teacher also studies qigong, and it's the similar things. We do also some qigong stances with horse stance and movements like that. So it all ties in together, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my old students used to hate me for horse stance because I
Yeah.
looked at the foundation, same concept,
Yeah,
but your foundation had to be strong and balanced.
that's
And,
right. And so that's same with Reiki too. We enliven our hands sometimes, and I mean, I'm by no means, I don't really know much about Reiki, but there's sometimes where we're doing a position, it activates your hands, and you can feel the energy from your hands, and so.
Nice. So, if anybody else, thank you for the questions. Greatly appreciate it. Hello, Norwin. Norwin. Sorry. My eyesight's getting as bad as Jared's. He's not here, so I can pick on him. So if anybody's got any other questions about Kundalini Yoga, we'll wait just a minute, and because in the meantime, while we're waiting, what if you're doing a live class? I know we're so close over this hump, and with this whole COVID mess. But what precautions would you do? Would you be able to do in a live class setting?
Well, so now I think they're opening it up for classes for 10 people. And as far as I know, because my husband goes to the yoga studio in the city, they still have to wear masks and all that. But maybe in a month or so, we'll be unmasked.
I heard July 11th, they're saying.
I'm wondering about it. Like, I know he has trouble breathing in hot yoga, but we do lots of breath work, so it might be tricky. But I haven't had to even do it with a mask because so far it's been all online.
Yeah.
So it's at my home. So.
Although that we could change out the mask to a balloon, it makes the inhaling a lot faster.
And then you might pass out.
Yeah. Yes. I'd be that one on the floor. So, so we've been talking about holding the classes here at the building minimum, or to keep the capacity at 10. Because regardless of what SHA says here, we want to keep it well below that marker. Yeah. So let's say like we have, they would have to have a mat.
A yoga mat.
Yeah.
And I always like to have a meditation cushion. I like to have my pelvis elevated above my knees when I'm cross-legged in meditation. So because there's at the end, we always do some form of meditation, and it's usually an active form, which is the mantra. It's moving and chanting at the same time. So I like a cushion. Can't be just something from your couch.
would it be fair to say, just in the meantime, until we know what the final declaration is going to be, to bring like for them to bring like a wipe down, something to wipe down, Lysol wipes or something. I don't know.
I don't know how that is all going to play out.
Yeah.
I think afterwards you're supposed to do some kind of clean.
Oh yeah.
Just from probably the singing.
Yeah.
Speaking moistly.
Speaking moistly, yeah. It's because it's like we mop the floor in here with an alcohol combined agent. Also, we use atomizers to clean in between. So it's probably would be one of those type things. Lee, can you comment a little bit more on how Kundalini work? Hold on, let me put this up on the screen instead of me doing the squinty thing. Makes repressed emotions come out.
This is a really big, juicy topic. And, we have things that we hold in our body. And this is what is so important, I think, about all forms of yoga, but especially Kundalini yoga. We get a blockage, we hold trauma, and it all stays in our body, right? It is super, super important to get that moving. And so, I've done some private sessions, and not even private. People really start to feel there's emotions that come up. They're moving your energy. So you have a blockage of something, and you might be holding it in one area, and something's triggered by your breath work or whatever. I did a 40-day Kriya forgiveness. It was one of the first ones I did, and every day I cried. It was just like, but after that, it was like I was free from those things that were holding me back. So, I think that from just moving the energy and stimulating your glands and organs, you can start to move that. And how it really works is if there's something specifically, like I've done with a private session, and then you do a 40-day Kriya, and that really makes change. So if you know what it is, you know where you're holding it, we work on that area, and I give you a video, and then you do it on your own for 40 days. Because that's where you really break through if you have something that you need to break through with working. It's not just doing it one time and that's going to change everything.
Right. Yeah, I'm just looking back at my life. I don't want to do that. I'll just have a complete breakdown.
It's good though. Then you were able to move forward. I feel like, it kind of, what I realized, Kundalini yoga is called the yoga of awareness. So it's the Kundalini energy starts to wake up. They say that the Kundalini awakening is this big thing, but it's something that happens all the time. And you start to be aware of what the chains were that are holding you down in your life. And so what I really noticed when I started practicing on a regular basis, I'm like, whoa, that's something that I keep on going back to. I think that I need to get rid of that in my life. And now it's like it's taking steps up and up and up. And I finally feel like I'm living as my true, authentic self and no longer tied to things that were holding me down in my life,
Yeah, and Allison just posted a link to the YouTube. So click on that and check out the video. Speaking of which brings us to, can you tell everybody where they can find you online?
So I'm just new I'm just starting out. So it's Morningstar Kundalini Yoga and Wellness on Facebook and Instagram. I haven't learned Twitter yet or anything like that. I'm just starting to develop a web page. So that's all in the works. Like I said, I'm a farmer. So we just finished seeding. So I finished my course, went into seeding, yada, yada. In the future, there's going to be a website as well as you can email me at morningstarkundaliniyoga@gmail.com.
And we're going to play your ad. We played it on previous episodes, but we're going to play your ad after this so that if you missed any of that, we actually have all the information on there. So when you play this back again, you can hit pause and do like me, write it down. But because we were discussing this off the air, and you said Danika means morning star.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It has a completely different meaning for me.
Well, I know it. I know what that means.
And I'm loving it. But anyway, hold on a second. I'll say it. The constipation, feeling like a lazy. It's coming out sideways, but you're better afterwards. It's just emotional and trauma. Okay. Very blunt, but very good. So Allison's posting the links onto the chat for you. But what we're going to do is I want to thank you so much. We were worried we weren't going to have enough time. We're 50 minutes. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much. Feel like I've actually learned because I was, like I said, Google. So I do appreciate it. And our conversation will continue off air because I want to continue to learn. And I'm going to play her ad as our closer. Normally, what we do is play the Medutu, but we're not. And so we're going to go to her ad, and you get to see her again up close. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.
Fun.
And until next time, dun, dun, dun. Much love to you all. Be safe.
Hello, my name is Danika Wright, and I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher here in Saskatchewan. Kundalini yoga is a form of yoga that is about stimulating your energy body through physical asana, pranayama, which is breath work, accessing different body locks, as well as mantra, which is a form of active meditation. This form of yoga isn't really in many of the studios in Saskatchewan, so I invite you to come and learn more if you're interested in trying it out. You can find me at Morningstar Kundalini Yoga and Wellness on Instagram and Facebook, or you can email me at morningstarkundaliniyoga@gmail.com.